time on the field. Which would you rather be?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, interesting. So you tell us, which one would you rather be? Write in the comments out of that question, which one would you rather be? Those are some of the things that students have to, pay attention to, listen to, and then respond with the judges here this morning as well. So all kinds of cool things. There's also one about a venture capitalist, so they got to talk to the judge and ask him about potentially getting funded for a project from a venture capitalist. So all kinds of cool things. Do the students know what a venture capitalist is? Will they have the knowledge to know that? Right, so those are pieces that are...
Right, and they did know that they would have to have something prepared to try to pitch to a venture capitalist.
Right.
But what they did know is that when they walk up to the station, the venture capitalist is on the treadmill, and they're at the gym beside the venture capitalist. They're trying to, have about 1 minute, almost like that elevator pitch for why they should support what they're doing. So it's quite funny to see, and honestly, you're winded and you're a little caught off guard anyway while you're trying to do that. So
yes, I love that treadmill one. That's hilarious. So as you see, the gauntlet changes from year to year. Our team gets so creative in putting this together and thinking about the challenges that will test their soft skills, test their knowledge of the world, but also test how they think on their feet, their charisma. And I got to give a shout out to Hutch McMillan for putting this entire gauntlet together along with his team, with Cookie and Ethan. I mean, this is a mammoth task to pull all these elements together to make this experience happen. And so we want to give a shout out to our team because it's no small feat for sure.
And if you're watching this and thinking, how could our school even begin to do this? Well, first of all, we do have a website where we provide resources for you called theamazingshake.com. On there are even some videos. There are things to help coach you through doing your first amazing shake. But it's also important to know that the very first time we did this, it was not this scale at all. First time we ever did it was with our staff, but then we realized it's better if you're having a judging scenario to bring in outside people. So you could go to your local businesses, your Rotary clubs, civic league meetings. You could go to your local bank, law firms, and say, can you send some people to come be here? They don't have to prepare anything. They would just come and show up, and they will line them up down your hallway and have students go up to each one and introduce themselves for 1 minute, have a conversation. People often ask, does somebody have to be very outgoing? What about your shy students? And I think it's really important. We have that conversation here often. An introverted personality type is a very beautiful personality type. Yep. And we just tell our students, you don't have to want to be somebody who's, big and loud. Quite often, actually, some of our winners have been somebody who is more soft-spoken, who's more introverted, but they're thoughtful. They have depth to their answers. They listen. They provide really meaningful discussion. Those are sometimes the people who do the best because they come across as very natural. They listen to the question. They don't just have something that sounds rehearsed at the end. And they come across much, much better. So the key here is that we just want every student to be themselves. That we want them to show their true personality, but to have confidence in that and to really be able to engage with someone else.
Yeah, what a powerful skill that is, to be able to stand in who you are authentically and show up and be just confident in that. That's what we're teaching students here in The Amazing Shake. Be you, be confident, convey the thought that you have because the world needs to hear what you believe and what you think, and just connect with people in a genuine way. That'll take you so far in life.
Absolutely. So these scores today in the gauntlet are going to be combined with scores that are also being taken in the Work the Room Challenge. And as we mentioned before, students have to get to as many different individuals as they possibly can. They've been told this. They could have a phenomenal conversation with one individual in the Work the Room and get a high score, but they're not going to do as well as somebody who's actually been able to engage with 20 people. Right. They're going to be a higher score. Those scores are combined together, and then we will announce our top 50 right after lunch today on stage. We'll be live for that, so you can see that from the theater. And those 50 students will have some questions that they are asked, and then some other things will be happening. We don't want to give it all away because they got to know and be able to think on their feet. We'll have a special guest this afternoon who's going to be joining us as well. We'll go from 50 to 24 to 10 all today. Tonight, we have the Amazing Bash. These kids, 260 kids from all over, they're going to have an epic party.
An epic party. So much fun.
Oh, dance party, music, food, all kinds of junk food, everything you can imagine.
Everything that you can imagine. I mean, the kids have the most amazing time at this party every single year. It's just so fun to watch, to just sit back and watch how they engage with each other.
Build these lifelong relationships.
Build these relationships. So that's going to happen tonight, which is a lot of fun. I want to go back, though. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, let me just say that tomorrow morning we'll be broadcasting live because we'll have our top 10. They'll have a few challenges, and then we'll be announcing the winner live. But did you want to go back and talk about the cruise?
Yeah, I want to talk about the cruise too, but the top 50, I want to tell them. So one thing about this year, the top 50, the top 5 from the gauntlet and the top 5 from the work the room, they automatically get moved into the top 50. So that's one thing to note about this year. So a student may have done really well here in the top 50, but not so well in the work the room. Well, they came in top 5, they automatically get to be a part of that top 50.
Yeah, if you come in top 5 in either, you deserve to advance to the next round.
Absolutely.
And when we say students are eliminated, once they're eliminated, the students don't have to leave the building. It is not like Survivor in that way. They're not shipped away. What happens is that the students here are able to engage. Behind us, you may notice that there are other people who appear to be watching, and they are. We have stanchions set up, we have bleachers set up, so people are actually able to view the students going through the gauntlet, and they're able to watch the students who are in the Work the Room Challenge. There's a upstairs area where they can look down upon it and see how students are doing. There's no coaching from the sidelines, but they're allowed to quietly watch and see what is happening. And so the students have time to be able to do other things as well. But really a key of this too is not only the opportunity for them to have this skill building, but for them to bond with other kids. And so that's one of the things that the students said that they love the most. They get to meet kids from all over. So we have set up, we have about 20 crews. So the students are actually, last night they met in their crew for about a good hour. Yes. And every crew has students from all different schools. There are no two students from the same school in any crew. And together last night, they had to make up their little cheer, their chant. They have t-shirts for the crew. We had a big roll call last night. Everybody came together, so they got to know one another. Today, in between some of their challenges, when they're able to relax, they're going to go back to their crew. And so we want these to be lifelong bonds that are formed. And some of them have already started. They're like, oh, I got the names of all these people. We're going to stay in touch. Yes. And it's really beautiful.
It really is beautiful. That's one of the things that students have told us time and time again about this competition. I mean, the relationships that they build here among their peers is just phenomenal. And the crews just really help to cultivate that experience for them. And so this year, we were intentional about really doubling down on how much time do they get to spend with each other. And so what's great about the crews is if you make it out of the competition, as Kim mentioned, well, you're still going to be cheering on your crew members because you want them to go far ahead in the competition. And so it's building this community, it's building this bond, it's building this teamwork, which is so fantastic about the competition.
Right. We talked to the chaperones about that last night. It's something we really instill in our students here, that you should be as happy for someone else when something good happens to them as you are when something good happens to you. And so it's really so that everybody has cheerleaders here behind them. Some of our students have come here all by themselves, and we want them to have a sense of belonging and to feel like they have not only their chaperone cheering for them, but a whole crew cheering for them and excited for them when they do well. And also, you know, a student may be able to perform well in here, but who are they really? Are they someone who is kind to other kids? Do they interact with other kids? Now, it's not a challenge we did this year, so I can go ahead and tell you, but that's so important to us. Remember the year we had the actress?
Yes.
So one year we hired an actress who was middle school aged, and she was waiting to come into the gauntlet, and we had her crying, and we wanted to see who would comfort her and who would just ignore her because, look, I'm about to get my score. I'm glad she's falling apart. And it was interesting. Those who comforted her, they didn't know it, but they got 5 bonus points.
Yes.
Because if they stopped, you know, you may be nervous too, but if you can stop and notice someone and say, are you okay? Do you need a tissue? Can I do something for you? That's the kind of student we really want.
Yes.
We want them to be that kind of person, not just in competition mode to the point where they can't notice other people, help other people, and so it's really important.
Yeah, empathy is so important as a skill to learn in life. And like, are you empathetic to others, especially in a situation, in a moment of crisis? Or are you going to stop for a moment to say, yes, I know I'm competing, but how can I help you? That goes such a long way. So I love that we did that year. It's not happening this year, but definitely a life skill that every student should have.
So if you have never had an Amazing Shake in your school, we recommend that you go to theamazingshake.com, that you tune in throughout the weekend and you try to think about how could we do this on a smaller scale first. Maybe it is just one room. Maybe you have 20 people from your community come in and you're in the gymnasium and students practice going around doing their handshakes and interacting and engaging. But then with that, you'll start to see community members say, you're doing really special things at this school because you really are building leaders here. You can be our employees in this town. How can we support you? And it can grow, and it can grow. And you could even perhaps get some sponsorships for people who will help you to be able to even bring in some more things to create a little bit more magic for the kids during the competition.
Yes, that community element is so important because we're preparing the next generation for careers today and tomorrow. And we're also preparing them to obtain scholarships for high school and for college and internships. And so the Amazing Shake is so important that because companies realize how valuable it is, they're not going to be working forever. And so they want to make sure that what we're doing is making sure that students are prepared, that they can walk in and interview for the jobs and continue to make sure that the company thrives in the future. So yes, you can get companies to sponsor. The Chamber of Commerce is so important. This is one of their tenets of student workforce development. And so they would love to be a part of this. If you're watching, you're like, how can I get this in my community? Go to your local Chamber of Commerce and talk about the Amazing Shake, and they would gladly sign up to be a judge, gladly sign up to sponsor the event. And that's one way that you can get it going for you at your school and in your community.
And some of you who might be watching today might actually be community sponsors of the students who are actually in this room.
Yes.
And so we want to thank you for making that possible. It's very, very beautiful because to be able to be here, the students did have to get their airfare, their hotel stay. Chaperones have to come with them.
Yes.
There's a lot of things, logistics. They wanted to have professional attire, all these different things. And so that takes funding and from the local communities. And so we've heard so many beautiful stories about local community members stepping up to sponsor students to come here. Thank you for doing that.
Thank you so much. And if you're watching, go ahead and tell us where you're watching from in the comments and who you're supporting here in the Global Amazing Shake. Do you have students here that are in the gauntlet that are competing? Go ahead and shout them out in the comments because they're going to go back and watch this later as well and read all the things that you have to say. So definitely shout them out in the comments. And again, thank you to all those who've supported your school, supported your students for them to be here today at the Global Amazing Shake.
And so you're just watching today also because you're watching for the Shake, but you don't know anything about the Ron Clark Academy. I do want to tell you briefly who we are. We actually are a school for students in 4th through 8th grade, and we really are a school that focuses on instilling passion into our students, joy for learning, but also very high academic expectations for our students as well. And what makes us probably most distinctive or unique is that almost every week, educators from around the globe actually come to our school. They sit and watch us teach, not because we're perfect, there's no such thing as that, but just to watch our methods, our techniques, and to attend our workshops and go back to their schools and implement it in their schools, because we really focus on how do you engage every single child in the learning process. We don't want any child to be invisible in school, right? We want every one of them to be a part and engaged in what's happening. How do you have high academic expectations but get all different types of learners to meet them? And how do you create a climate culture where kids cannot wait to walk into school each and every day? And the teachers too.
Yes.
You know, we have a massive teacher shortage in this country. We want teachers excited to walk in the building as well. And so we're very unique. We're the only place in the world where educators can come in mass like they do, watch class after class, very different teachers, all spectacular, incredibly gifted teachers, and attend workshops and be able to take ideas back to their schools. And so many of the schools that are represented here had teachers who came to our training, but as a part of that, they learned about the Amazing Shake program when they noticed how is it that our students, even in class, always stand to speak, address everyone, look each other in the eyes, the way that they engage. And really, it's because we instilled these kind of skills in all of our classrooms all of the time. So if you know an educator, if they go to ronclarkacademy.com and click on professional development, we have all different types of offerings, whether it's just EXP days where teachers can come and learn about all the things we do in every class, or we have days for math teachers and science teachers and ELA teachers. We have teachers days specifically for administrators to learn how do you create a school like ours. And we have a lot of training about the RCA house system.
Yes, that is huge. 100,000, more than 100,000 educators have been here through our professional development to learn and to take strategies back to the schools. And yes, the house system is definitely one of the strategies that schools are using all across the country because we know the importance of belonging and having a cause and a crew. And so the house system provides that opportunity to build that climate and the culture in your school. So as Kim mentioned, if you want to visit the Ron Clark Academy, visit our website at ronclarkacademy.com. or just go to rcaexp.com and you can find out all the dates there to visit us. Also, I want to tell you, if you are watching here, the Gauntlet, supporting your students, we do have a live stream for the monologue station as well, and that's right below this stream. If you're on our Facebook page, go to the Global Amazing Shake on Facebook, and there's a live stream there as well. So if you want to pull up two screens, watch this one on YouTube, because we're also streaming this on YouTube. Pull up on YouTube and also watch the monologue station on Facebook. You can definitely do that at the Global Amazing Shake. As you see there, and that's right there on your screen, you see the students are doing their monologues, and I gotta say they're absolutely killing it, having the time of their lives. I hear some of them, I heard some of them this morning, and I just love that they're coming here and giving it their all.
Yeah, it was really cute because last night I saw some students, and I think they had just met each other, and they were practicing their monologues for each other.
Really? I love that.
Yeah, after the show last night, I was like, see, that's already that kind of sense of support and everything like that I think is just beautiful. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going out on the gauntlet floor in a bit and actually going from station to station to kind of give you a view from up close and personal.
Yes.
Maybe talk to a few of these chaperones that are watching, let them give a shout out to their students, and maybe talk to them about how they've implemented the Amazing Shake in their schools as well.
Yep, so that's going to be it right here, but we'll see you in a moment. We're going to end this broadcast and then come back live in just a bit from the gauntlet floor. So we'll see you in just a little bit.
Thank you all for joining
Thank you.
us.